Hello everyone, welcome to a writer's review, brought to you by Camille's Harem. Not just a podcast for novice writers by novice writers, but also a YouTube channel by novice writers for novice writers. Because writing is an adventure, it's more fun with friends. And today I, Lars, bring to you a cartoon review, so that way you might know just how amazing this newest show from Disney is. People have been saying that it is the natural successor to Gravity Falls, and while I am still out with the rest of the jury on that, this is a show that you would hate yourself to miss out on. I am not kidding. This show brings me such great joy to watch. It is gorgeously drawn, hilariously written, and very well plotted. The characters are a hoot, and in some cases, they literally are a hoot. It is a show that has sweet messages and a blast communicating them. So if any of this sounds like your cup of tea, then you gotta watch it. The Owl House is an incredible story about Luz the human, who is a crazily imaginative and socially awkward girl whose self-expressive antics land her in a ton of trouble. Her antics pave a one-way road to summer school, but en route there, she gets trapped in another dimension when she chases after an owl who has stolen her favorite angsty YA novel. You know, like you do. Stuck in a place called the Boiling Isles, Luz finds herself in the clutches and cahoots of the powerful witch Ida, who steals human garbage from Earth and sells it for premium snails. You heard me right. Cold, hard snails. Capitalism is a beautiful thing.
Capitalism, where everyone wins except you.
Unfortunately for Luz, not only is this new world a bizarre fever dream from visionary Guillermo del Toro, it is also a world that is literally bursting from the corpse of a giant monster.
This is all a fantastical dream?
Give me your skin!
This is clearly not the PG fantasy world I always dreamed about.
But we can't spend too much time with that, because Ida is on the run and pulling Luz into her shenanigans. Luz is taken to the Owl House, Ida's safe haven, where she rooms with King, the self-proclaimed king of demons. He is, in fact, a hybrid of a fox and a Cubone who is mad for power and switches constantly from being adorable to stupidly manipulative. Together, Ida and King are non-conforming weirdos on the run from the law and having the time of their lives, pulling random hijinks and supporting each other in their own ridiculous lifestyles. And for the first time in her life, despite all the horrific dangers around her, Luz feels like she's found a place where she actually belongs. Thus ensues a story of Luz trying to master magic, getting manipulated into tons of magical schemes, learning more about Ida and King, and making new friends in a dimension where she is the only human. Like I said at the beginning, a lot of people have compared this show to Gravity Falls, and I think it is an apt comparison. It's got the heart, it has the humor, and the gorgeous animation. Seriously, just look at these amazing shots when Ida battles Lilith. The attention to detail, background, and character movement is absolutely gorgeous. The jokes land well, the characters are a ton of fun, and it holds a similar feel to Gravity Falls, where characters from our normal world discover that there's another one, another world that is over the top weird and deals with the themes of friendship, family, and belonging. Heck, the Owl House even has Alex Hirsch in it. But while the Owl House and Gravity Falls are very similar, I want to highlight how they are different, because the differences help make the Owl House its own unique show with its own engaging story. Right off the bat, I think about what the heart of this show really is. Gravity Falls was all about family. The Owl House is all about friendship and finding where you belong. The first episode, with Luz not feeling welcome at school and feeling ultimately alone in her life with just her books, makes it very clear that this will be about finding a place to belong and making friends who complement and complete you. And every episode focuses on that theme, and I mean every single episode. Yes, there is a family matter between Ida and Lilith, but even those two episodes are framed around Luz wanting to hang out with her friends, make new friends, or understand the friends that she already has. I tip my hat to the Owl House for how it handles making friends. Luz and Willow have a pretty cute and cartoonish meeting, and I like how Luz just wants to help out this random stranger, and thus a friendship is born. Their relationship is all about mutual support and being honest. And I have to say that Willow is an absolute gem. Luz and Gus becoming friends is also pretty funny in my opinion, because at first he's just so obsessed with her being a human. However, their relationship still has to grow as Gus stretches the bonds of trust between them, as he at certain points either exaggerates or just outright lies. And so the two of them have to come together and fix this. But what I find is extremely well done in this show is the dynamic between Luz and the school bully Amity. The YouTube channel Rose's Universe has already done a phenomenal episode on their relationship, and I will link to that in the description. What I want to say about it is this: Amity's character has real depth, and as a result, she and Luz can have a relationship that isn't purely antagonistic. They get to know each other, and slowly the walls come down. And further down the road, there will be an opportunity for them to become friends. At least so I hope. This just feels real. Some bullies in my time in school were and remained uncompromising jerks. But there were a few that I ended up becoming really good friends with. Heck, one of them even personally invited me to his wedding. And where those friendships blossomed were moments where me and this bully both understood that we contributed to the problem, and that it was a problem that we didn't want to fuel anymore. Even a bullying relationship goes two different ways, and when two people are able to realize that this is unhealthy, and ultimately we just don't understand each other, and you know what, maybe if we did, we might be able to set aside our differences and come to some sort of agreement. Magic, true magic, actually happens. And watching Luz and Amity, I feel a genuine connection to their story, because that is literally some of the stuff that I went through while in school. But of course, we can't forget about Luz and her time with Ida and King. Let's take a look at this right here. Ida's lifestyle is honestly a selfish one, but she's been on the run from her problems for so long that connecting with anyone other than King is really hard for her. Luz and Ida show that a good relationship is founded on communication, plus some give and take from both sides. King also puts himself before others most of the time, being super selfish, but he learns over time that putting others first is what makes him happiest. He learns that he is nothing without his friends, and Luz for her part has to learn that even a small silly demon has real feelings and aspirations. They support one another, and as a result, they become a dynamic pair. But it's not just the characters and their messages of friendship that really gets to me, it's also the mysteries. Gravity Falls was chocked full of mysteries, but those mysteries fell largely into two categories. They either hinted at the strangeness of Gravity Falls, or they pointed us towards the Pines family. Alex Hirsch left a lot of questions unanswered, because the multiverse is a vast, crazy place, and trying to learn more than you need to turns people like us into sweaty dippers, isolated Stanford Pines, or into the insane Bill Cipher. But the Owl House's mysteries are central to understanding the Boiling Isles and its inhabitants. One thing is clear, is that the events of the past have left people isolated and hurt on these isles. Ida and Lilith, sisters, broke apart. The Bat Queen, she was abandoned. King's suggested past indicates someone who has been forsaken by others. We also know that Ida's been cursed. Willow and Amity also had some sort of falling out at one point. And then we also have to consider the mystery of what magic actually is. That's something that the show encourages us to learn with Luz. What's really going on? These are all questions and mysteries that are essential to the development of the characters. Mysteries surrounding magic, King, the Bat Queen are all sure to be heavy on the world building side, and that is a fantastic combination. It says a lot about a story when it can blend the elements of its world and larger plot to the real and personal events of its characters. The show is not as packed with ciphers and clues as Gravity Falls was, but these mysteries are mostly embedded in the episodic plots. There is a cipher hidden in each show spelling out a message about Ida and Lilith. More details for that in the description. But what this all means is that this show promises big reveals, but each one is going to be meaningful. And that is a mark of excellent storytelling. I would love to throw my hat into the ring of amazing theorists and puzzle solvers to craft some theories and possible solutions. If that is something people would like to see me do, like what I've done with Ruby and Deltarune, then please let me know. I gotta do something other than just watch anime while I wait for the Dragon Prince and Ruby to come back. The Owl House is a silly, strange cartoon, but its characters and its lessons are lovable and relatable. It manages to capture the essence of an epic journey, and at the same time teaching its audience without coming off as preachy. Honestly, this is a show that I would recommend to anyone. It is so much fun to watch, and promises a whole lot more to come. Before I wrap up, if there is any writing advice that I would give from this show, it is this. You don't need to track the life of your main characters through every single day of their adventures. Give us the snapshots that communicate how they grow. The readers will fill in the rest with their imaginations while you lead the way with your plot. Also, it is very difficult to teach lessons in a fantasy story without coming off as preachy. Believe you me, I know from failing at this a whole lot. Instead, you need to introduce the themes of your lessons and let them play out organically through the stories you tell. We as authors are not supposed to spoon-feed the answers to our readers, but present the questions and then let the questions play out. That is way more memorable to the reader. Alright, that will do it for me. Seriously, go check out The Owl House. Get caught up before the second half of the season premieres, and when you have done that, go and check out our podcast, Camille's Harem, found at Podbean, iTunes, and Google Play. We also have writing advice and exercises at our Pinterest page, and discussions over at our subreddit. And if you want to help us track down awful fanfics to do epic readings of, please send us links to those bad boys. And until the next video, y'all, tschüss.